Okay, class, we've got our last review for our last test of the school year. Here we go. Ratio of sparrows to finches was 3 to 4. So I made my ratio table, sparrows, finches, and total. Sparrows to finches is 3 to 4. If there were 12 sparrows, how many finches? I can get rid of this row. 3 is to 4, as 12 is to some number. I said I can get from 3 to 12 by multiplying by 4. So 4 times 4 gave us 16. Probability of rolling a 4 with 2 rolls. Well, the probability of rolling a 4 on my first roll is 1 out of 6 because there's 1 4 out of 6 sides. If I do it again, still the same probability, 1 out of 6. It's the probability of the first event times the probability of the second event, 1 out of 36. 0.6, I say this correctly, 6/10. 6/10 reduces to 3/5. 6/10 to go to percent, multiply by 100%, bump, bump, 60%. 5%, percent means out of 100. 5 out of 100 reduces to 1 over 20. 5/100ths, written as a decimal, 0.05. 3/5 of the, students did not finish. Or 3/5 of the students finished. How many did not finish? There's a couple of ways you could have done this. If 3/5 finished, that means 2/5 did not finish. So I could do 2/5 times 30 and get 12. Or I could create one of my diagrams. 30 students total, right? Fifths, I need 5 sections. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 3/5 finished. 1, 2, 3 sections finished. 2 sections did not finish. 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, parallelogram. Area is base times height, but you got to use the height has to be perpendicular to the base. So I can't use this as the height. This is not perpendicular. This is perpendicular to the base. 15 millimeters times 12 millimeters is 180 millimeters square. Perimeter. This is 15 and this is 15. 15 plus 15. This is 13 and this is 13. This is not a length of this one of the sides. This is just the height. Okay, so I have to use this and this as my length and width. So 56 millimeters would be the total on the perimeter. Okay, M and N are parallel. So we want to see what this transversal P does. Okay, it makes 8 angles. Okay, 4 acute angles, 4 obtuse angles. All the acute angles measure the same. All the obtuse angles measure the same. It tells us angle 2 is 80 degrees. That's acute. What is angle 6? Angle 6 is also an acute angle, so it also measures 80 degrees. Okay, now we've got a pentagon here. Anita began at A. She ran around the field once, making the 5 turns shown. In those 5 turns, Anita turned a total of how many degrees? Total. So when she went from here all the way around back to A, she went a total of 360 degrees. Square root of 900. Well, I did some trial and error here, okay? I knew that 3 times 3 would give me 9, so that made me think to try 30 times 30, which is what it is. 30 times 30 is 900. So the square root of 900 is 30. Write 4 and 4/5 as a percent. So I said, or write 4/5 rather as a percent. So I said 4/5 times 100% gives me 400% over 5. 400% divided by 5 is 80%. 5 times 1 and 3/5. Well, I need these both to be fractions, so 5 turns into 5 over 1. 1 and 3/5. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 is 8 over 5. So I reduce here. I end up with an answer of 8. Volume, length times width times height. 5 centimeters times 4 centimeters is 20 centimeters, times 3 is 60 centimeters cubed. A cube has how many more edges than vertices? Well, if I think about a cube, the top, I've got 4 edges around the top, 4 edges around the bottom, and then 4 edges on the sides. That gives me 12 edges. 8 corners, 8 vertices. 12 minus 8 is 4. There are 4 more edges than vertices. Order of operations. 2 cubed is 8 minus radical 9 is 3 plus 3 times 2. Okay, I did my exponents. Now I need to do the multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6. I rewrite everything. 8 minus 3 plus 6. Now I can add and subtract from left to right. 8 minus 3 is 5 plus 6. Final answer is 11. 6.25 minus 4.5. We want a decimal answer. 4 and 1/2. I know that 1/2 is the same thing as 5/10, so I can call this 4.5. 6.25 minus 4.5 is 1.75. 1 and 75 hundredths. Okay, we've got a proportion here. Now you could do the cross multiplying, but I saw that to get from 20 to 100, I multiply by 5. So multiply the top by 5, m is equal to 15. If you didn't see that, you can still do the cross multiplying and come up with the right answer. Okay, if I know that I'm missing one of my add-ins, I can take the sum and subtract the other add-in to get the missing one. Okay, so 5.0 minus 3.6, y is equal to 1.4. At 6 a.m., the temperature was -6, so I drew like a little thermometer thing. Okay, here's my 0. Down here is -6. By noon, the temperature had risen to 12 degrees. Here's 12 up here. So I have to think about how many degrees it's risen. To get from -6 to 0, it has to rise 6. And then from 0 to 12, it has to rise another 12. So I said it was a rise of 6 and a rise of 12. That gave me a rise of 18 degrees. Ooh, we want to find the area of this circle. Pi r squared is our formula for area. You got to memorize that. The diameter is 12, radius is 6. 6 squared is 36 times pi. You should have gotten 113.04 inches squared. Okay, guys. Hope you did well. Hope you'll do well on your last test. Miss you guys.